Inter, managed by their former legend Cristian Chivu, Romanian superstar who won the Champions League for Jose Mourinho in that wonderful Nerazzurri side of 2010 that came away with a treble. His best quote from the news conference yesterday: "It's an obligation when you coach Inter to have big ambitions." He was in a very good mood. He's a very entertaining man, and you can tell that he is enjoying his time in charge of his beloved Inter side. It's been a very good period historically for Inter over the past couple of years. They're chasing their 21st title. The season before last, they won their 20th under Simeone Inzaghi, and they have made it to 2 Champions League finals in recent years, losing on both occasions, first to Manchester City 1-0, and then last season was a bit of a damp squib from Internazionale's perspective. They were absolutely thrashed by PSG in the 2025 showpiece final. But it is in the absence of Juventus, who are still rebuilding, their arch rivals. Internazionale are, along with Napoli, the 2 strongest sides in Italy at the moment. And like I said, they can take a big step towards securing that Scudetto once again, with victory here against Roberto De Versa's men. Both teams have lined up in their formations, 3 at the back for both, and we are just a few moments away from kick-off. Maurizio Mariani is the referee for this afternoon's game. The weather down there in Turin looks absolutely stunning, and this stadium is as full as one can expect it to be for what promises to be an excellent afternoon of football. We have kick-off. Torino kicking from left to right in their traditional kits, their deep burgundy, dark red kit, and from the kick-off goes straight back to their back 3, and it's launched up the pitch for Lazzaro to chase, but way over hit, and it's going to be a goal kick for Jan Sommer. Played short from one of the centre-backs back to Jan Sommer and fired into midfield, where Sucic gets his first touch on the ball. Inter lose it in a dangerous position. Early opportunity here for Torino if they can get the shot off, but they can't. Simeone that was, but he couldn't get a decent connection on it, and it went harmlessly wide. Good pressing there from Che Adams to win the ball high up the pitch. In these early exchanges, looks like he's managed to win his side. An early corner inside the first minute. The Granata are putting on some early pressure. Corner to be taken by number 33, Rafael Obrador, a product of the Real Madrid academy and on loan from Benfica since January. He's taking this corner short, left-footed. It gets it back, and then the cross comes in, but by then it's charged down, and the rebound from Torino is hooked back into the danger area, but away from danger and behind for a second goal kick already of the afternoon by Jan Sommer. Inter will try and take this with a bit more efficiency. It's played up the pitch to number 14, Bonni, who gets his first touch on the ball. He lays it behind him to Sucic. He's just helping out, and then it's played through Carlos Augusto and back to Jan Sommer. Real strong pressing here, causing a little bit of consternation in the Inter ranks. They're trying to pass their way out of trouble, but Torino are really giving them a going over in these opening exchanges. Bit of calmness needed from Internazionale, and you'll get that in the form of Sucic and Barella and their number 7 Zielinski, all excellent practitioners and calm footballers. Di Marco there trying to play it up the wing and winning a throw off Lazzaro. A shot here of Cristian Chivu. For obviously he's played most of his career in Italy, but the one thing I noticed from his conference yesterday was just how exceptional he speaks Italian. Real linguist at heart. Not only the quality, but his communication skills are absolutely exceptional. You can see why he's been a success. Here Thuram ploughing a furrow down the right wing, trying to back heel it, but there's nobody there in support of him, so Torino able to gather, but they cough up possession, knocking it out for an attacking throw for Inter, which is taken by former Man United fullback Matteo Darmian, who throws it deep for Jan Bisek to get his foot on the ball. Inside to Manuel Akanji, and then left to Carlos Augusto. Federico Di Marco has it, plays it into midfield. Sucic, the Croatian, in the centre circle, in possession, turning, playing it left to Carlos Augusto, who just advances from defence and joins the midfield. It's back with Sucic here. He gives it left to Carlos Augusto, who nods it on to Di Marco. Patient passing here from the Nerazzurri, playing in their all-white away kit. No hint of black and blue on this occasion. All white it is. Sucic has his foot on the ball, looking for an opening. Passes it right to Manuel Akanji, who plays it into Barella, and then it's back to Sucic. Now out to Federico Di Marco. Inter keeping possession, ticking over. It's back with the Swiss former Man City defender Manuel Akanji. Carlos Augusto once again has it, patiently forcing Torino back, but crucially not finding the pass in between the lines here. Torino content to sit deep and invite pressure, but Barella has it now. Wonderful player, Niccolò Barella. The star of this current Italian generation, I would say, although he's only got 2 goals this season, 7 assists. He's a real engine of this side. Ball play forward for Boni to chase, but it's overhit and it rolls comfortably through for Alberto Pagliari to get his first touch of the ball. 33 years old, very experienced. Most of his career has been spent in the lower leagues or as a backup goalkeeper. But here he is, being handed the number 1 spot for Torino's match against Inter. Torino's clearance is charged down, and Boni has a chance to build an attack here, but he tried to turn and pass it back to Di Marco inside the area, but he was crowded out. So Torino managed to clear, but it's still in Inter's hands, possession. Sucic drops it to Manuel Akanji, back to Sucic. Sucic turns, has options to the left of him, finds Di Marco, and that's a one-touch pass which releases Boni. Crossing opportunity, blocked by number 14 for Torino and put behind for a corner. Blocked by 44, not 14, Ismaili, the Albanian. First corner of the game for Inter, to be taken by Di Marco, wearing number 32. Over here on the near touchline, the left wing, going to be taken right-footed, so an in-swinger. Barella has joined the left-footed Di Marco as that in-swinger option, but we may see Di Marco hitting it with his left. Instead, Barella plays it short to the edge of the area, where Sucic picks it up and just lofts one into the box. Oh! And it's a header from Manuel Akanji. He leapt highest and tried to head it down to that bottom right-hand corner. Exactly what he should be doing from that position. It was a good leap, a good connection, and you can tell from his expression by the way that he ran away that he's a little bit disappointed with himself. He feels like he should have got that inside the post and given Inter an early lead in this match. We've played 5 minutes so far here at the Stadio Torino in Turin. There's a bit of a question mark ongoing at the moment with Torino, whether they can get ownership of the stadium, currently owned by the municipality, the city of Turin, as is so often the case in a number of Italian clubs and cities, don't actually own their stadium, and hence it's hard for them to generate significant revenue on match day. And also, stadium renovations tend to be something that can be neglected in those kind of municipally owned facilities. The club are trying to engineer a situation where they can start owning this stadium themselves, possibly with a view to building something a little bit more modern, or at least renovating this grand old structure. Stadio Olimpico. Augusto there is charged down, and Torino have an opportunity inside the box. It's a shot and it's over the bar from Coco there in an advanced position. Caught me off guard there. It was a sloppy pass from Jan Sommer into Carlos Augusto. He was instantly charged down by Simeone, who lays it off to Coco in an advanced position. And the defender from Equatorial Guinea knocks it over the bar and has Roberto De Versa head in hands. That was a glorious opportunity to take a shot lead here within the opening 10 minutes. You wonder how many chances Torino are going to have like that. But here they are in possession. Building from deep. Ismaili has it, number 44. Passes it out to 20 over here. Valentino Lazzaro. He drops it deep to Coco. Coco into midfield where Ilhan passes it to Vlasic. Vlasic one over to Obrador over there on the far side, the left touchline. Obrador comes back inside. No options presenting itself to him down that wing. So it's back to the back three and building again with Ismaili, who cuts inside, takes a couple of Inter-attackers out the equation, and then finds the pass out to Simeone on the right wing, pulling right, the son of Diego Simeone, of course, has played in Italy since 2016. 30 years old now. He is a very experienced player and has 9 goals for Torino in 26 league appearances this year. Coco, ball at his feet, crossing into the Inter half, looking for an option to pass. Finds Vlasic, pulling out onto the right wing. Step over from Vlasic, comes inside, beats Susic. Now passes into the penalty area, but it's cleared by Akanji. Good work from Torino here in these opening 10 minutes, but Ebos is adjudged to have clattered into Boni there in Inter's half, and the referee Maurizio Mariani awards a free kick to the Nerazzurri. But a bit of a inquisition going on at the moment within the Inter ranks, just asking the question why Torino on a couple of occasions have managed to break through so comfortably. Inter in possession in their own halves. Zielinski just trying to work the ball around the corner from midfield up to the front two, but neither of Boni nor Thuram are able to latch onto it, so the ball runs through to Ismaili in that Torino back three, taking his time to find the passing option. He has Coco to the right of him, and now Coco has the ball at his feet, passes it back to Pagliari, who one touch gets it out to left centre-back, and Enzo Ebos up the wing to Obrador, but Obrador is tackled. Inter have possession now with Barella just on the apex of the penalty area on the right side. He plays it to Jan Bisek, cross, and it's cleared behind for a corner. Just shows you how dangerous Inter can be when they win possession high up the pitch. They're able to turn that transition into an attacking chance in lightning quick speed. Torino are going to have to be very careful with that as this game develops. Corner to be taken by Nicolo Barella, captain for the day, right-footed outswinger, deep towards the back post. Inter player got ahead and nodded it back into danger, claiming a handball off his header there, but the referee is unmoved. Petar Susic picks up the clearance deep in his own half and is able to set Inter on their way once again. Carlos Augusto has it, ball at his feet now, the Brazilian centre-back slash full-back, 27 years old, moved to Inter from Monza in 2023. Can play full-back, can play centre-back, can play wing-back. He's comfortable in all three positions, and already we've seen him once or twice moving forward from centre defence to join the attack. So he's not afraid to get forward, as all Brazilian full-backs tend to be. That's another occasion when Torino have given away possession to Barella in an advanced position. Che Adams on that occasion, the Scottish striker, sighing with frustration. Torino need to really eradicate that. Akanji has the ball, passes it left to Carlos Augusto. Augusto over to Di Marco, halfway inside Torino's half. He finds Boni, who keeps the ball alive. Good physicality from the French striker, his first season at Inter after joining from Parma at the beginning of the season. Played into Thuram now, who takes a touch, drops it outside to Barella, who passes it left to Susic. Now Di Marco has it left of the penalty area, crossing it deep to the far post. Header from Bisek was down into the ground and then bouncing kindly for Pagliari to gather. And as we see a replay of the header by Carlos Augusto, he headed it down into Ebos's knee and it bounced up and hit the French defender on the hand. I, to be honest, couldn't tell you what the handball law is these days. It's so confusing, but instinctively I feel that should not have been given as a handball. Nevertheless, Inter still in possession with Barella just shy of the centre circle, passing it left to Petar Susic, who nudges it on to Augusto, who continues his run forward, the Brazilian. An added option in attack for Inter. Akanji now trying to thread a pass through a crowd of bodies towards Thuram, but doesn't get as far as the striker. And for a moment Torino were attempting to break, but possession changes hands once again. The Nerazzurri have it again with Petar Susic crossing the halfway line on the left wing, then dropping it to Di Marco behind him. Di Marco comes inside looking for options. None are forthcoming ahead of him, so he plays it deeper to Akanji. Akanji right to Bisek. Bisek works the ball over to Thuram, number 9 on this left side. Thuram tried to play in Susic, but the Croatian couldn't get to it, and it runs behind for a goal kick to be taken by Alberto Pagliari. Marcus Thuram has 13 goals and 6 assists in the league this season. 28 years old, French international, a devastating combination at his best of power and pace. Son of Lilian Thuram, who no doubt many of you will recognise, legendary French defender of the 90s and early 2000s. Valentino Lazzaro has it here on the right wing, crossing the halfway line, plays it inside to number 10, Nikola Vlasic. Vlasic gets it back and returns it to Lazzaro. Lazzaro tried to play in Vlasic behind Di Marco, but Di Marco's positioning was good and just got a leg out and prevented it from reaching the Croatian playmaker, formerly of West Ham. Christian Chivu on the sidelines there, shouting instructions. He doesn't look completely satisfied, it must be said. Torino in these opening 15 minutes are doing pretty well. Goal kick taken by Augusto, left to Jan Sommer, who walks the ball out to the edge of his penalty area before passing it to Nicolo Barella. Barella, one touch left to Augusto. Then on to Di Marco, who then just drops it to Barella, who's in a deep position here, almost as a centre-back, as Augusto went beyond him. Now Barella lays it into midfield and goes and tries to get the return pass off Susic. Inter are very deep at the moment, but are still content and happy to play under pressure from Torino's press. Barella lends it inside to Susic, who one touch plays it back to Jan Sommer. Susic once again, back to Jan Sommer, and now it goes long. And a nod on was from number 36, Darmian there. Managed to get the nod on that strike from Jan Sommer, but neither one of Bonni nor Thuram were anticipating the nod on from Matteo Darmian, so it just went through to Pagliari. Ball is back in play, and it's still with Inter, who get it off Pagliari's goal kick. Di Marco cutting into midfield, trying to thread one through to Bonni, coughing up possession, so Valentino Lazzaro's having a run of it down the right wing, quite a good one, manages to pass it inside to number 18, Simeone. He drops it behind him to Ilhan. Ilhan works it out to Obrador over there on that far touchline. Just as that opportunity was developing Torino have managed to sort of pass themselves out of contention. They're still in possession, but Inter are deep and well set now. There was an opportunity, if they had acted a little bit quicker, they possibly could have worked something there, but they still have the ball. Ismaili left to Ebos. Ebos won over to Obrador. Back inside to Ebos. The Cameroonian defender on loan from Udinese. It's out now on the right wing. Valentino Lazzaro coming in off and picking up the layoff by Giovanni Simeoni, who gets the return pass, tries to find a cross, and it's blocked and put out for a throw by Federico Di Marco. Lots of defensive work in this opening 20 minutes for the Nerazzurri. They're having to do a lot, but so far they've done it well. Lazzaro, ball thrown into the penalty area, where Vlasic is crowded out but manages to get the ball left to Gneitis, but at that point the Lithuanian is tackled and the ball is cleared as far as Pagliari, who gets Inter passing once again. Ismaili to Coco. Coco clipping the ball up the wing to no one in particular. Indeed, Federico Di Marco is the one who gets the ball first. Passes it to his goalkeeper, and Akanji gets it off Sommer and passes it to Carlos Augusto. Back with Akanji. Has the ball at his feet, taking a couple of touches, then passing it left to Di Marco. Di Marco back to Augusto. Augusto right to Akanji. Susic comes to pick it up off the defenders, and one touch plays it back to Jan Sommer. It's going to be a long option towards Boni. Gets a nod on it. 14 now has it. Boni still shooting opportunity, edge of the box, gets the shot off. Too close to Pagliari, dives down low, smart, and manages to smother it. But this front two of Boni and Thuram are really working hard to generate these opportunities, and they're joined often by Bisek, who's coming from deep, Damian occasionally. It's quite a flexible lineup that Kivu has. Players popping up all over the place. Makes my job a little bit more difficult. Ilhan, edge of his right boot, tries to loft one into the box for Simeoni to chase, and tries to acrobatically turn it beyond Jan Sommer. Couldn't quite reach it. So Inter are able to build again. Barella passing it to Bisek. Bisek involves Damian, who plays it up the wing to Thuram. Thuram back to Barella, and once again Bisek has it. He gets it out to Carlos Augusto in left centre back. Now it's right inside to Manuel Akanji, winner of the Champions League for Man City a couple of seasons ago, indeed beating Internazionale 1-0 in that very final in Istanbul. Now another former citizen of Manchester, Matteo Damian, tries to cross from the right wing, but gets his aim all wrong, so it drifts all the way to the other side for a throw or possibly a goal kick. Need to see a replay exactly where the ball went out, as we are being shown a replay on my monitor here of Ilhan's delightful chipped pass with the outside of his right boot. Simeoni saw it, read it, tried to get onto it, just couldn't acrobatically jump high enough to get foot on ball, but an interesting chance. Now Boni has it out here on the left wing to the left of the penalty area. He's being closely marked by Ismaili. He comes inside onto his right foot and plays it to Susic. Susic inside to Barella. Barella turns and passes it to Akanji. Akanji back to Barella, looking for his options. He sends it back to the Swiss defender, who whips it out to Damian over there in the stretch of sun on covering that right wing for Inter. It's worked back to Carlos Augusto. He plays it inside. Susic turns. Zielinski has it now. Zielinski tries to fire one into Thuram, but Torino defender read it well, gets ahead of him. Susic has it, ball at his feet, coming inside. Plays it to Zielinski. Zielinski right to Akanji, who crosses the halfway line, has options ahead of him. Still marching forward, Akanji. Now he finds Susic, who turns. Matteo Darmian gets it, chips it to the back post, and this is a goal! Great cross and great finish. It's Thuram who gets the goal. Exuberant celebrations from that pair. Federico Di Marco was well within his rights to shoot from where he was, just inside the penalty area to the left of the goal, but instead he lofted it to the back post where the gigantic Thuram leapt highest and nodded it beyond Pagliari for the opening goal of the game after 24 minutes played. Instantly Thuram went over to Di Marco to give him his kudos for the smart thinking. He's just hung it there at the back post. So inviting for Thuram there to leap and head it home. A striker's dream, a cross like that, especially one as tall and athletic as Thuram. He's going to gobble that up all day long. Thuram has his 14th league goal of the season. Di Marco has his 9th league assist of the season. And Inter are one goal to the good here at the Stadio Olimpico in Turin. Couple of balls on the pitch at the moment. The referee asking for one to be knocked behind while Inter build their latest attack. Jan Bisek crossing the halfway line over there on the far side. Manuel Akanji now has it a little bit tucked over more left than central as he's been playing so far, but he's roaming across that back three. He passes it left to Di Marco, who goes back to the Swiss defender. Right to Zielinski. Zielinski nods it still further to Darmian, back inside to Zielinski. The Polish-born Italian citizen he was made recently. He's been playing for many, many years in Serie A, very experienced in this league and clearly loves his country enough to acquire Italian citizenship. Number 30 for Inter, Carlos Augusto, keeping possession, ticking over, getting it back again. He's in a really advanced position and passes it to Thuram, who's dropped deep and to the left to pick up the ball. Inter just working the ball over, keeping it ticking. They're playing at a good rhythm. Torino's press is still energetic, but the Nerazzurri are backing themselves to beat the press and keep working the ball. Augusto has it once again, plays it inside to Boni, who takes a touch, turns and gets it out to Jan Bisek, who's really advanced position. He tried to play it into Barella, but it was just behind him a little bit. Still into go though. Jan Boni has it on the edge of the area, squares it to Darmian, who's going to cross from that right side. Is he? No, he comes inside. Now he crosses with his left foot, and it's too close to Pagliari, who's able to claim ball in his hands for the Italian goalkeeper. The pressure is all Inter so far. Rolling it out to Coco. Coco finds Nikola Vlasic. Nikola Vlasic and Coco just exchanging a couple of passes before the Croatian takes it elsewhere and passes it to Ismaili. Ismaili, the Albanian, passes it left to Enzo Boss. Boss back inside to Ismaili. Now Saul Coco has it, tries to go long towards Simeone, finds the Argentine who just chests it behind him for Vlasic to come onto. This is a decent move. Obrador has it now. Obrador finds Genetis. Genetis inside to Ilhan. Ilhan chips it out to the right wing where Valentino Lazzaro controls it. One-on-one with Di Marco. Can he cross the ball? Oh, well, he tried to, but slipped as he made connection. So it's an easy take for Jan Sommer. I have to be careful with Balkan nationalities here because Ardian Ismaili, I don't want to get myself into hot water, but my stats here tell me that He's Albanian international, but has made one appearance for Kosovo during his career. Very solid defender, very experienced in Serie A as well. Clearing the ball there towards Valentino Lazzaro, who's unable to keep possession, and so Inter are able to build once again with Nicolo Barella just picking the ball up off Carlos Augusto, exchanging passes with Susic. Back with Barella now. Passes it right to Zielinski. Zielinski back to Barella inside the centre circle. Inter have got possession and are keeping it, passing left and right as they patiently probe for an opening in this disciplined Torino side, who are not going to give things up easily. It was a moment of quality which prized the game open. Some smart thinking from Di Marco to send that assist to the back post, but they will not roll over. Their form in the past 6 games reads 3 wins, 2 losses and a solitary draw. It's helped drag the Granata out of a relegation battle which they were threatening to get involved in with Marco Baroni. So kudos to the work that Roberto D'Aversa has done. He's a very charismatic man, D'Aversa. His conference yesterday afternoon was very entertaining. Italian, born in Stuttgart in Germany, had a long career mainly in the lower reaches of Italy. He was actually banned for 6 months, I dare say, for match fixing in the 2004-2005 season for Siena. I think that might have been the match fixing scandal that also implicated Antonio Conte. I don't know if there was any co-involvement between the two there, but he's back now and certainly has restored his reputation as a manager, especially through the work that he's doing here at Torino, one of Italy's most famous clubs. Lovers of football history will know all about the Grande Torino team that won 5 Serie A titles in a row in the 1940s, and then that team was tragically broken apart by the Superga disaster when a plane carrying the Grande Torino crashed into a hill just on the outskirts of Torino, killing most of that wonderful lineup, including Valentino Mazzola, elder brother of Sandro Mazzola, who then went on to become one of the biggest legends in Inter's history. But the last time Torino won themselves a trophy was in '93 in the Coppa Italia. It's been rather slim pickings since then. Inter much more familiar with silverware throughout the 90s and the 2000s, and they're close to picking up possibly the double as they're in the final of the Coppa Italia. Valentino Lazzaro just passing it back to Alberto Pagliari after an extended period of possession in which Torino didn't really manage to threaten down Inter's right, but they have another chance to build again from their own goalkeeper, Sal Coco, trying to play it down the wing to Vlasic, dropping deep from that number 10 spot. But the player from Equatorial Guinea, born in Spain, I should say, puts it straight out for a throw, hands possession to Inter, who are able to build themselves with Bisek. Bisek left to Akanji. Akanji over to Di Marco on the left wing touchline. He comes back inside to Akanji once again. The Swiss defender passes it left to Carlos Augusto. Out to Di Marco once again. Di Marco comes inside to Nicolo Barella, who passes it back to Manuel Akanji. Akanji to Barella. Can Inter find another opening? It's inside to Zielinski. He opens his body, tries to pass it through Ilkan, bounces off the Turkish midfielder's knees and back to Zielinski, who's able to work it out to the right wing, where it's dropped deep to Bisek. Good passing by Inter, now keeping it ticking over. Barella, Zielinski, Susic moving everywhere, crossing opportunity from the right, and another header. This time Boni couldn't quite get above it as Thuram did, and just headed it over the bar. We're going to see a replay now of the goal. It's all the work of the cross. Di Marco gets it inside the penalty area, almost near the apex of the penalty box and just dinks it, lofts it to that far post for Inter's 18th headed goal of the season. When you've got strikers like Boni and Thuram, Esposito on the bench is another tool player, then it's a weapon that you absolutely should use if you can. Ball is clipped into Inter's penalty area and where it's headed clear. All the way back now with Enzo Ebos, who plays it out to number 20 over here, Valentino Lazzaro, right to Nikola Vlasic on the right wing. Inside now to Ilhan, who tries to turn, tries to barrel his way through two Inter midfielders. He's tackled, but the ball pops out to a Torino player. Here's Simeone on the edge of the area, trying to get a pass off, but the ball ends up going backwards. But it's a good spell for Torino. They're threatening a little bit here, passing up through the lines to Vlasic, who tries to turn and make his way to goal, but he's tackled by Boni there. Thuram, I beg your pardon, doing his defensive work. Thuram passing it left to Susic. Susic inside to Barella, who one touch passes it beneath him to Zielinski. This midfield of Zielinski, Susic and Barella, really dynamic, really fluid, all of them exceptional technical practitioners. They're giving Torino a real headache with their movement and their ability to keep Inter passing and progressing higher up the pitch. We've played almost 35 minutes here in this first half between Torino and Inter. 1-0 to the Nerazzurri. A win that will help them on their way to the league title, although I don't think mathematically it can be made certain today. Cross from the right by Darmian, well cleared by Ismaili, and eventually put out for an Inter throw a little bit deeper than the penalty area. Thrown back into play by Matteo Darmian, formerly of Man United. Very versatile player now. He's advancing in age, Matteo Darmian, 35 years old now. We have a shot of Christian Chivo watching on intently as the Nerazzurri try to add to their lead. Susic has it, cuts inside, finds Barella, who can't turn, takes a touch back towards his goal and then has Zielinski behind him. Ball from Jan Bisek intended for Thuram was intercepted but put out for a Inter throw. Penny for the thoughts of Roberto De Versa. There's been a lot of good in this half from his side, but the crucial thing is that they're 1-0 down and they haven't won against Internazionale in 14 games, so you fear for them. They're finding goals a little hard to come by this season, down there towards the bottom of the scoring charts. But here we have Inter in possession, just shy of the halfway line. Thuram gets the ball off Zielinski and rather sloppily coughs up possession there. There's an opportunity for Torino to attack with Che Adams, but the Scot loses the ball, and now Inter in turn are able to attack with Jan Bisek trying to latch on to Boni's overhead pass. Possession changing hands rapidly between the two, but Nikola Vlasic has the ball now, fouled by Bisek, but the referee allows play to continue. Obrador has it on that far side. He's got an option outside of him if he can get it there, but he can't. Well intercepted, and Inter, if they can secure possession, are able to build. They can't. Boni coughing it up once again, so Vlasic has it in midfield, centre of the pitch, passes it right to Gnaitis. The Lithuanian trots over and just passes it to the feet of Obrador and gets it immediately back as Inter take up that deep defensive position, happy to allow the Granata to pass the ball in front of him. Gnaitis tries to go through the lines to Che Adams. Che Adams drops it to Ilhan. Ilhan back to the back three. Ismaili has it here. He tries to thread it through to Simeone. He's found the Argentine's feet. Simeone out to Lazzaro on this right wing. He sends it into the box deflected, but Gnatis almost gets on the end of it, and then spills to Obrador over on that far side, and the Spaniard tried to just clip it back, Di Marco style, into the danger area, but his aim wasn't as good as the Italian wing-back, so it's behind for an own goal, a goal kick. Since 2004-2005, Federico Di Marco has produced the most number of assists of anyone in the Serie A from a defender. I need to double check that statistic because it popped up quickly on my monitor and I wasn't able to fully digest it, but the key takeaway, Federico Di Marco, he's a good supplier of assists in his attacking wing-back position. Lilia, Marcus Thuram is very grateful to have a player with the technical quality of Di Marco who can just hang a ball up like that for him to attack. Thuram there gets the ball off Jan Sommer's goal kick, keeping the ball alive, passing it right to Matteo Darmian. Darmian inside to Barella, who finds Thuram on the right wing. Darmian then going for the third run, but instead it goes deeper to Barella. Now Barella comes inside to Zielinski. He drops it to Akanji. Now Susic has the ball, picking it up off Akanji. Comes inside to Zielinski. Zielinski turns again, back on himself. Turns once more, looking for a passing option. A little bit static around him, you have to say. The Inter player needs to run more for each other. Carlos Augusto coming inside, almost giving up possession, but Akanji is there to cover for him. Good pass by Akanji into Thuram. Thuram plays in Zielinski into the penalty area, but it was just ran out of the Zielinski's reach and he couldn't get the shot off, but that was a good centre forward play there, hold up play from Thuram. Ball comes into him and he just back heels it for Zielinski to run beyond him. Che Adams has it now. Strokes the ball out to Valentino Lazzaro, right of the penalty area on the right wing. Crossover from Lazzaro and a cross into the back post where it's well defended by Jan Bisek. He was being pressurised by Simeone there and he took no chances, knocked it behind for a corner. Good cross from Valentino Lazzaro, who has one of the most interesting family heritages. Angolan father, Greek mother, born in Austria and represents the Austrian national team. Citizen of the world. Corner to be taken over there on the far side. Obrador, left-footed into the penalty area where Bisek nods it clear. Again, Inter clear their lines at the second opportunity, and it's back with Lazzaro, who just volleys it back to his keeper Pagliari, who passes it straight back to Lazzaro, who's in an unfamiliar position there on the left wing, but manages to play it into Gnatis, signed from Spal in 2022, the Lithuanian international, 22 years old. He's covered more distance than anybody else on this pitch so far, joint with Barella, so he really does bring high energy to proceedings as we approach the 42nd minute of this first half. Inter looking comfortable, you'd think, but a lot of football still to play, and I wouldn't count out Torino just yet. They've shown enough flashes here and there to suggest that they might be able to bring something. Susic passing it through the lines where Susic gets it once again and he tries to cross it, but it's put out behind for a corner kick on the left wing. Good defending there by Saul Coco, matching Susic stride for stride and then just blocking the cross as it came in. Opportunity here from the set piece for the Nerazzurri, with 3 minutes of normal time in this first half left to play. The heavy artillery has been sent up there for this corner to be taken, left-footed outswinger by Federico Di Marco, who sends it to the near post where it's headed clear only as far as Zielinski, who tried the spectacular volley and could get a hold of it and knocks it just wide, harmlessly, for a Pagliari goal kick. Pagliari in conference with the Albanian defender ahead of him, Ismaili. We have a shot here of Vlasic, captain for the day. Torino's main creative outlet. He's got 3 assists and 7 goals in the league this year. He comes from a very sporty family. Many professional athletes in the Vlasic family, but he's the only footballer. The ball almost dropped to Boni there, but Inter retained possession. And now Thuram chases it, tries to keep it in, but it rolls out for another Pagliari goal kick. 2 minutes left of normal time to play. I wonder how many minutes added on we'll have. It's been quite a flowing first half, actually, and there'll be a little bit added on for the goal, but my prediction is going to be 1 minute or so, possibly 2. Not many big stoppages that I can think of. Both managers seem to have adhered to the same style guide in their outfits today. White shoes, navy trousers and white tops. It was the same for Fabio Grosso in the earlier kick-off this afternoon. Perhaps it's something that Italian managers get together and agree at the beginning of the season what they're going to wear. Grosso actually had to change his top from white to black because of a potential kick clash with Sassuolo, who are playing themselves in all white. I wonder if we're going to see the same thing happen with Christian Kivu here. Nobody's complaining about it as of yet. Ismaili with the ball at his feet, just in front of his penalty area, passes it left to Enzo Ebos. Enzo Ebos comes inside, back out again. Great pass up through the lines there, keeping the ball alive to Obrador. Obrador tried to play it inside to Simeone, but the tackle was made. And then as Inter tried to break down the right, they put it out for a throw, but that just shows you how dangerous Inter can be. 1 minute, I was right. My prediction was correct. 1 minute is still to play at the end of this first half, and we've played 5 seconds of that so far. So last opportunity for Torino in possession to build an attack and potentially get the equaliser before half-time. It's played inside to Genaitis. He just drops it deep to Ebos, and Ebos passes it right to Ismaili. He tries the ball over the top, intended for Lazzaro, well defended by Di Marco, heading it clear. Torino still have possession though. Vlasic inside to Coco. Coco left to Ismaili. Ismaili keeps the move flowing, finds Ebos. Ebos left-footed, tries to send the ball into the penalty area where it's cleared acrobatically by an Inter defender. Still though, Torino have possession. About 10 seconds remaining of this half, so this is the final opportunity to gain parity before they go in for a break, but they don't take that opportunity. The referee blows his whistle, sending the teams inside for a break and a rethink. It's 1-0 to the away side so far here at the Stadio Olimpico. I will be back with you in around 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Stadio Olimpico, ladies and gentlemen, for the second half of Torino versus Internazionale coming up soon. 1-0 to the champions-elect from the first half. 3 points this afternoon will put them on the cusp of their 21st league title, and they have done half the job required of them so far. The teams both returning to the pitch. First, the Granata in their traditional burgundy kit. Che Adams there deep in conversation with one of the substitutes, and now followed by Internazionale taking to the field. So kickoff in the second half should be just a few moments away. Let's see if either manager is planning to make a substitution as we go into the second half. Lilian Thuram there wearing the number 9 shirt, the goal scorer. His 14th league goal of the season so far. And he scored it against Torino, which is a team that he has scored against more often than any other throughout his career. And Di Marco is such a regular provider of assists, happy to oblige and facilitate his teammate up front to give into the lead. Right, both teams have lined up now, ready to get underway. The referee, Maurizio Mariani, just going through his final checks, checking timings are correct, and blows his whistle, getting us underway in the second half. Inter in their all-white kit, kicking from left to right, beginning possession. No substitutions to report for either side, so we are as we are from the first half. And Jan Bisek has it down there on the near touchline, the right wing, and tries to fire a ball into Boni high up the pitch, but Boni is tackled just before the ball gets to him and put out for a throw, which Inter take promptly and go back to their back three. Manuel Akanji, joined from Manchester City, where he won the treble in 2022-23. Inter go back to their goalkeeper, who launches it long to Boni. He can't get onto it, but it's dropped deep and it's kept alive. Augusto there advancing from centre back, trying to latch onto Boni's ball forward. Well defended in the end by Ismaili, sliding, just getting there ahead of Carlos Augusto, putting it out for a throw, roughly level with the 18-yard line, and Di Marco chipping it into Thuram's feet. It's a shot, rebounded. Di Marco gets a follow-up and draws another save from the keeper. Eventually the ball is clear, but that was very close to the second so early in the first half. Once again, Thuram causing problems, and Di Marco in the mix there as well, nearly getting a goal for himself, which would have been his 5th league goal of the campaign. Inter have started the second half with a zip in their step. Boni laying it off for Thuram, who drops it for Zielinski. Zielinski to Barella. Now it's out with Damian on the right wing, just to the right of the penalty area. Now it's played back inside. Zielinski has it, finds Manuel Akanji. Every Inter outfield player high up the pitch and pushing Torino back to the edge of their penalty box. Now Akanji has it again, the deepest player, squares it right to Zielinski. Zielinski lets the ball roll across him and then finds Damian, and that's a great ball up the wing for Jan Bisek to chase. Jan Bisek and Boni getting in each other's way a little bit there. Eventually it's crossed into the box and it's headed clear. Curious that it looked dead set to be Jan Bisek to latch onto that ball up the wing by Damian, but then the Inter striker came charging across from the centre of the pitch, seemingly determined to get there ahead of Jan Bisek. Valentino Lazzaro is just down. He's in some pain, I think. What's happened there, can't see from my vantage point, but it was as he was trying to emerge with the ball. We just see a replay there of Di Marco's shot, drawing a save from Pagliari, down and smart to his left. Di Marco hit it with the outside of his left boot, just trying to shape it into that far corner, but Pagliari got down quickly and well, palmed it back into danger, and then his Torino defenders managed to clear eventually, and keeping the deficit down to just one goal for now. Lazzaro just receiving a little bit of treatment down there, and it offers an opportunity for the players on the pitch to take some fluids on. Doesn't look aggressively hot, but it's a very sunny day in Torino, in Turin, so players just stretching a little bit as we go through this break and play. Lazzaro is on his feet and walking, if a little gingerly. I'm sure he's going to try and continue if he can, but the ball is back with the goalkeeper. No, it's not. Manuel Akanji has it and gets into going again inside Torino's half. Torino instinctively dropping deeper and deeper and deeper. Bisek inside to Barella and back to Zielinski. Now Augusto has it on that far side in that inside left channel, passes it out to Di Marco. Di Marco inside, just gets the layoff. He runs inside Di Marco trying to get the ball once again, but it was almost threaded to him from Barella, who throws his hands up aghast. It almost got to him. Di Marco almost stopped his run, and it was just a little bit to the wrong side of him, but nevertheless, 50 minutes played, 5 minutes of the second half. It's still Torino 0, Inter 1, but Inter have started this second half looking to try and add to their lead, but they're going to have to mind things at the back as well. That's Damian there, just getting ahead of Che Adams and clipping it out for a throw to be taken by Obrador, wearing number 33 for Torino. He throws it deep to Ebos. Ebos, number 77, plays it inside, and that's just helped on back to Obrador. Obrador hasn't got any options ahead of him, goes back to Ebos, and Boss comes inside to Ismaili. This is encouraging from Torino's perspective, a good spell of possession. Obrador crossing opportunity to the left of the penalty area, aiming towards Simeone, but it's well defended there. I think that was Sucic covering, just intercepting that cross as Simeone was lining up a shot. Sucic gets there first. The attack continues though. Boss passes it to Obrador. Obrador halfway inside into his half, roughly, a little bit more. No option ahead of him, so comes back inside, and Torino keep possession ticking over, but they're finding the passing angles now. Nice ball whipped out by Simeone over there to the right wing, where it seems that Lazzaro had strayed offside. So a free kick to Inter now, as we see a shot of Urbano Cairo, the Torino chairman, watching proceedings as Torino looks like we're going to have a couple of substitutions. I can see Aliou Ng, Gambian forward, stripped and ready to come on alongside another Torino player. I'll give you the identity of him as soon as I know it myself. But Inter are in possession inside their own half, trying to beat Torino's press. Akanji there, playing it up to Thuram, who's holding Ebos off him exceptionally well, and finding Zielinski running from deep. Di Marco now plays it into Sucic. Sucic to the left of the penalty area, tries to get across him, but his effort is smothered, and Torino are able to regain possession, and they've won a free kick somewhere just as that play was developing. So Ng to come on alongside Marianacci. Valentino Lazzaro, his race is run, so he will be replaced. Number 20 just trotting off. He's played well, he's been eager to get forward, but he's been replaced by Aliou Ng from Gambia. And the other substitution, Marianacci, coming on as well in place of Coco. So a defensive change for Marianacci on for Coco there, and the other one, Marianucci I should say, is Ng on for Lazzaro. So in theory, if the shape remains the same, Torino have changed the right side of their defence. But let's see where the two substitutes come on and if there's anything tactical that we should be aware of. So far, Inter dominating territory and possession in this second half. We're approaching the 10-minute mark. And it's worked out to Carlos Augusto, who comes inside to Zielinski. Zielinski, ahead of him is Barella. He finds the Italian and gets the pass immediately back. Then, once again, as often has been the case, the defenders look for that fired ball into the front two. Torino wise to it this time, getting there ahead of the Inter front two and regaining possession. But they lose it soon after. Although the referee has pulled up for a free kick somewhere there. I think Vlasic, as he tried to get hold of the ball, might have been fouled by Boni. So Torino with a chance to build possession. Ng gets his first touch on the ball, passing it back to Marianucci. Torino still in possession. Big booming pass out to Ng over there on the right side. The Gambian turns, ball at his feet, has Vlasic inside of him. Vlasic one on to Ilkhan. Ilkhan, ball played smartly out the pitch to Simeone, and a foul on, I think, Vlasic after the drop off from Simeone there. I beg your pardon, not Vlasic, that was Gnatis, just pulled back. It's a decent opportunity here. This is a striking chance from the free kick. Gnatis is up and looks like he's offering himself as a candidate to take this. It was a good layoff by Simeone, excellent centre forward work, and the Lithuanian picked it up, tried to turn and was just tackled, fouled, put to the ground, which has won his side a free kick. Jan Sommer making sure his wall is in the right spot. 4 in the wall. Ilkhan standing over it. Product of Besiktas' academy. He takes it left-footed, hits the wall and over and behind for a Torino corner. Hit it well, but the wall did its work, and Jan Sommer is appreciative of that. It was actually Gnatis who took the free kick rather than Ilkhan with his left foot, trying to whip it out above and around the wall, but they did their job. Obrador to take the resulting corner, left-footed, whips it into the front post, but it's too low and it's easily cleared. Only as far as Ebos, who tries to nod it towards a Torino player but gets his aim a little bit wrong, and now Inter get possession. They could be one-on-one with the goalkeeper here. Boni barrelling his way forward. Now it's clipped to the far post, but well defended eventually there by Ismaili. And Torino might have a chance to attack now. Simeone has it, finds Adams. Ilkhan clips it to Obrador, doesn't make it to him. Simeone keeping it alive. It's a bit helter-skelter so far. Neither side able to exert control over the ball. Now Susic just steps in and calms things down, passes it left to Federico Di Marco, who just slows things down and ensure Inter have steady possession. It's back with Akanji. Akanji left to Carlos Augusto, back to Akanji and right to Bisek. Bisek fires it into Damian's feet. Damian tries to left-foot it, play it into Susic, who tries the elaborate Cruyff turn to beat his man, overhit it slightly, but the covering defender Ismaili puts it out for a throw halfway inside Torino's half, taken by Damian, thrown back to Bisek. Bisek finds Barella ahead of him on the right touchline. Smart interchange of passes between Bisek, Barella and Zielinski there, but the ball is worked back to Jan Sommer in his all-orange kit. Sommer to Carlos Augusto, who turns, opens and finds Federico Di Marco. That's a good ball from Di Marco up towards Thuram. Thuram has Zielinski going beyond him. Zielinski on the edge of the area. Back heels it to Di Marco, who shoots. It's blocked. It's going to bounce here on the other side with Barella, who can't get the ball under control and snatches at his shot left-footed, and it goes harmlessly wide. But a good chance there by Inter. They're playing with a lot of dynamism, a lot of fluidity, players interchanging positions almost at will, and it's at its best. It's causing a lot of problems for the Torino backline. Boni there just using his physicality, barreling his way forward, attracting a lot of defenders. The young striker, 22 years old, has been a handful this afternoon, as has Thuram. Che Adams there wins possession inside his own half, and one touch finds Ilhan on the right wing. Ilhan has Ng outside of him, but covering is Di Marco, who picks up the loose ball and fires it up the wing to Thuram. Thuram inside the penalty area, cuts in on his right foot, tries to get the shot off. I think that was deflected behind for a corner. Really dangerous, this front two. Boni and Thuram. They can turn defence into attack so quickly, especially with someone who seems to have a telepathic understanding with Thuram there. Di Marco getting the ball and instantly finding into striker. Indeed, it is going to be a corner. Thuram just cutting inside onto his right boot there and letting fly, but the block was put behind for a corner, and that is going to be the end of Boni's race today. He is replaced by Pio Esposito, Inter Academy player. Has 2 goals and 1 assist in 9 league appearances this season. He's got great potential. Corner to be taken from by Di Marco over there on the left side. Sent into the box, and that's a goal by Bisek from the corner. Simple as you like, and it's Torino 0, Inter 2. Bisek leaping highest there and smashing the ball past Pagliari for Inter's second of the afternoon. And yet another assist for the assist maker in chief, Federico Di Marco. That corner came over and found Jan Bisek unmarked around the 6-yard line and free to head home. Questions to be asked of the Torino defenders there, what they are doing, allowing either one of Thuram or Bisek standing side by side, almost a free leap at the ball. It was Bisek who got it, but equally Thuram might well have found his head on it. Great goal, simple as you like, and the German defender, one appearance for the national team, came through at FC Köln, is wheeling away delighted with that. Inter, you have to say at this point, are so close to their 21st Scudetto that they can almost touch it. 30 minutes left to play of this game. Can Torino find a way back into this? 2-0 down. They're facing the weight of history, not having beaten Internazionale in 14 games. Di Marco, second assist for him this afternoon. Plays it inside to Zielinski, and Zielinski, retaining possession, finds Di Marco once again. He's had a great afternoon, has the experienced Italian fullback, 28 years old, entering his prime, products of Inter's famed youth academy. 2 assists this afternoon. A foul on Carlos Augusto just inside Torino's half, retains possession for Inter. It's played inside to Barella, who just tries to backheel it towards one of the front two, Esposito or Thuram, but it overruns and comes through harmlessly to Pagliari. Edge of his area, ball at his feet, passes it left to Enzo Ebos, who opens, pressurised by Esposito, nonetheless gets his clearance / pass intended for Simeone. Any son of Diego Simeone, you know for sure is going to be a hard runner, and Simeone has been tireless this afternoon. Let's hope for his sake that there's still enough in here for him, perhaps a goal to get Torino back into things. Here is the goal scorer, Jan Bisek, just gathering the loose ball in front of his penalty box and retaining possession, passing it to Carlos Augusto inside to Zielinski. That's a nice pass up the middle of the pitch to Di Marco, who's in attacking midfield at the moment. Darmian plays it on to Thuram, who tried to loft one in for Esposito to attack, but Pagliari read it well, gets his hands on it. Coming up to 65 minutes played. Still 0-0. Still 2-0, I beg your pardon, to Torino. So close to becoming Italian champions once again. Good work from Bisek there, just covering and ensuring that the pass forward by Torino doesn't reach Simeone. Though the resulting potential for a counter-attack is lost, Torino still have possession and play it inside to Vlasic. Vlasic then finds Ilhan. Ilhan to Genetis, who just passes it straight back to his Turkish midfield partner. Ismaili now passes it right to Marianucci. Marianucci eventually helping the ball forward to Ng, but Ng can't retain it, loses possession, so Inter have it just inside their own half. Clipped out to Darmian here at right wing back, inside his own half now. Passes it inside to Barella. Barella left to Zielinski, who opens up play to the left side. Nothing doing there, comes back to Manuel Akanji. Akanji right to Jan Bisek. Bisek is just going to play it back easily to Jan Sommer here. The Swiss international, formerly of Bayern Munich, has won titles in his native Switzerland, then in Germany for Bayern, and obviously here at Inter as well. 2 seasons ago, under the management of Simone Inzaghi, he lifted the Scudetto shield, as it is here. Couple more substitutions for Torino. Cesare Casadei and Duvan Zapata are coming on. Genetis will be replaced by the former Chelsea man. Real prospect for the future, Cesare Casadei. A huge frame he has, but a great runner and an elegant player at the same time. And Adams is off as well, replaced by Duvan Zapata, a real Serie A veteran, having played for Atalanta, Sampdoria, Napoli, Udinese. Questions over his fitness before this game, but he's got enough in him for around 30 minutes of play. Ismaili is down, complaining about something here. Let's see what has happened. Just as he came across to tackle quite well, actually, on replay, Esposito, a leaping tackle just to get there ahead of the Spanish striker. He pulled up, but he's up now, and he looks like he's going to be okay. So we will continue with Ismaili in the heart of the Torino defence. Inter thrown into Esposito's chest, but he can't control it. It runs through to Pagliari, who launches it up to the pitch for the first time for Zapata to chase. Powerful and willing runner as he is, but he can't get onto that one, and it is Inter who retain possession through Jan Sommer, and he has it at his feet now. Passes it right to Bisek. Bisek up the right wing to Matteo Darmian. Darmian tries to play it into Esposito, who's under very close attention by Ilhan, I think that was, and the referee judges that there was a foul on the Spanish centre forward. So Inter take the free kick, pass it back through their back three. Augusto has it into Jan Sommer and out to Manuel Akanji, who has a bit of room to run into, takes a couple of touches and then tries to clip the ball up the wing for Bissek to chase, but it's beyond the German defender, and runs through for Pagliari to gather. I'm interested to see Cesare Casadei play today. He's a favourite of Enzo Maresca, played for the former Leicester and Chelsea coach at both of those clubs. Won promotion for Leicester under Maresca 2 seasons ago, and then was a squad member for Chelsea last season as they won the Conference League and eventually the Club World Cup. He was featured more in the cup competitions, especially the Conference League, but I was impressed by what I saw with him. And then it seems that the prospects for him at Chelsea weren't forthcoming, so he's decided to go back to his native Italy. Has 5 goals for Torino this season, so he's got about 20 minutes here to make a difference as we approach the 70th minute mark. Di Marco playing it inside to Augusto. Augusto finds Barella, who fires a difficult pass to control back out to Di Marco, but the wing-back is equal to it, and now Inter are on their way, or they would have been had that pass intended for Barella found its target. Now, though, Torino with an opportunity, if they can square it. Goal chance here, chipped, and it's a finish! Scored by number 18, Simeone. Has halved the deficit, brought Torino right back into things. His 10th goal of the league season in Serie A. And that all came from a sloppy pass. I think it was Zielinski trying to find Barella, but it was too far ahead of the Inter captain for the day. And Torino were able to break, and it's a smart ball into Simeone, who backheeled it. And Ilhan, number 6, I beg your pardon, got onto the back heel from Simeone, then reversed the pass to the Argentine, who continued his run. And by now he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, Jan Sommer, who came out to narrow the angle, making Simeone's mind up for him. It was just a chip over the Swiss goalkeeper and into the back of the net. Torino 1, Inter 2. Simeone celebrating with his manager, a shake of the fist. Thuram looks furious, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult now for Inter in these final 20 minutes. A really good goal from Torino. I've mentioned once or twice that while the majority of territory and possession has been for Inter this game, they have threatened on occasion, and here they come again. Zapata down the left wing, trying to loft the ball towards Simeone, but it's too far for the Argentine on this occasion. He's all smiles now, is Giovanni Simeone. Goal kick to be taken by Jan Sommer, as we see a shot of Lautaro Martinez, El Toro, on the bench for Inter today. I'm not sure if he's fit enough to play, to be honest, but the camera keeps panning to him, suggesting maybe he might be given a few minutes by Christian Chivu. Let's see, great cross there into the box. Simeone almost with a chance to diving volley it past Jan Sommer. Covers his face with his hands. He knows how good a chance that was. Came from nothing. Great cross from the right. And Simeone threw himself at the ball, catching it on the half volley. Couldn't really control it, get around it, and it sends it the wrong side of the post. Jan Sommer puts it down to take the goal kick. Bit more energy in the crowd now from the Torino fans, now that they can sense possibly that there's a point in there for their side, unless Inter can get back control of this game. Jan Sommer's goal kick flies all the way to Pagliari, who plays it into Ismaili, number 24, who turns and then passes it back to Marionucci. Marionucci clips it to Ebos, who lofts the ball high for Simeone to try and gather, which he does, and lays it off to Obrador. Obrador finds Zapata on the left wing. He's one-on-one with Damian. He beats him, almost gets it to the touchline, tries to cut back inside and wins a corner. This is so much better from Torino in the past few minutes here. Really making a fist of it as we approach the final stages of this game. Duvan Zapata, willing runner as ever despite his 35 years of age. Obrador to take this corner, left-footed outswinger it will be. Plenty of Torino players to aim at in the box. It's deep, but a good header by Manuel Akanji there. Only goes as far as Ilkhan, who clips it back in from the right, and the header from Simeone is poor. It's kept alive by Chazadeh, though, who gets it to Zapata, but he can't really get a shot off. Ng has it now, drops it to Marianucci. Marianucci just clips it back into the danger area towards Chazadeh, but eventually Inter getting it clear. Susic gathering the loose ball down by his corner flag and then launching it up the pitch for Esposito to chase. This game has a completely different feel about it now. Torino really are pushing, and Inter are just going to have to soak up a little bit of pressure here and try and regain control, but the balls are coming from every angle. Obrador gathers it left of the penalty area, crosses it in, headed by Zapata. Great shot there from Ng, saved miraculously by Sommer. Ng gets a rebound, clips it back into the box. Bisek heads it clear. Obrador now to the left of the penalty area, plays a 1-2, gets it back, fires a cross in, and it's put behind for another corner. I need to see a replay of that by Ng. He hit that with a great deal of power, and it was an excellent save, reactive save by Jan Sommer. There it is, a cross comes in from the left. Zapata throws himself at it, the ball drops to Ng, who doesn't even think about it, just throws a leg, hits it on the half volley, smashes it. He must have thought that was enough for a goal, but Jan Sommer in his bright orange kit gets his body behind it. Corner is taken, but the referee wasn't happy about something, so he pulls things up, and I wonder if we're having a VAR check here. Nothing's flashed up on my monitor, but the referee is deep in conversation with his assistants on his headset system here. Is he saying that there's a penalty? Could be. Zapata jumps and heads it down onto, what's that? Damian's. Oh, it just flicks his fingers. The referee's going over to the monitor. This usually means one thing. I think the referee is going to see this and see that it's hit Damian's hands, and his arms were in an upraised position. Zapata heads it down, so I'm not sure it definitely would have been a goal, but nevertheless, Damian's arms are upraised and it just flicks off his fingers. He's less than a yard away from Zapata. It really feels harsh, this rule. He's just following the flight of the ball, and I think he puts his arms up almost in self-defence because he sees the hulky frame of Duvan Zapata charging towards him, determined to get his head on the ball. Instinctively, his arms are up just to protect himself, and in doing so, Zapata's downward header bounces off his right fingers, and then it pops out to Ng, who has that shot and smashes it goalwards, saved by Jan Sommer. The play then developed, but somebody told the referee that he needs to have a look at this. He's having a good old look at it. So it's not one of those ones where he sees it and he's instantly convinced. There must be a certain element of doubt in his mind. He's still taking his time as we see repeated replays, which doesn't really make it any clearer to me. But here he is, the referee has a decision, walks back onto the pitch. The players of both sides waiting with anticipation. I think Damian has an element of resignation on his face. He knows what's going to happen here. It is a referee has reached for a card into his back pocket, so I can only assume that it's a penalty. Yes, the Torino fans are celebrating. It's a penalty to Torino. They have a chance here with just over 10 minutes left to play to level things up. Damian looks disgusted. Kivu, ditto. Jan Sommer is a penalty saving expert, so he will back himself on this as we see yet another replay. I keep saying Damian who was the one who got it. Indeed, actually it wasn't. It was Carlos Augusto who's the one who handled. Nikola Vlasic is certainly the one standing over it, just taking time to compose himself. The number 10 for Torino has his 8th goal of the season, smashes it high into the net and beyond Jan Sommer. And Torino have levelled things up here at the Stadio Olimpico. We have around 12 minutes left to play, and it is Torino 2, Inter 2. Doesn't do anything to the standings, given Inter's lead is so healthy. Really great penalty there, straight into the top left-hand corner as he looks at it. No chance for Jan Sommer, who's an excellent penalty saver, but it was high and beyond him before he could complete his dive. Doesn't really make any changes to the league table. Torino in 13th on 40 points. Inter still with a 8-point lead at the top of the table. But it's certainly not the result that they would have anticipated. Susic, his race is run, replaced by the veteran Henrik Mkhitaryan, who is going to come on for the final 10 minutes. Denzel Andy Diouf is also on. A bit of attacking impetus now thrown onto the pitch for Inter's perspective. I'll give you confirmation of who Diouf has come on for as soon as I get confirmation myself. I think that might even have been a treble substitution. Obrador crosses from the left. Oh, there's an opportunity there to put Torino into the lead, but it's deflected. It's back now with Obrador. And his second cross is put behind the touchline here on the left side for a Torino throw, which Obrador himself is going to take it. Throws it down the wing towards Zapata, who's been a real handful since he's come on. He might be a few pounds heavier, but that intense physical bundle of energy which we became so used to seeing at Atalanta is still very much there. Dumfries is on for Damian and Diouf is on for Di Marco. So a bit of an attacking substitution there in both respects. Midfielder, so this looks like it might even be a change to a back four for Inter, with Dumfries playing right back. Whatever it is, Dumfries there passing the ball up the wing towards Esposito, but Ebos covers and puts it out for a Inter throw. Just shy of the 18-yard line from their perspective. Dumfries wastes that throwing opportunity, just chucking it in towards Esposito, but it was not far enough, and the Torino defenders able to get in there and steal possession. Ebos now passes it left to Ismaili. Ismaili finds Marianucci. Marianucci clipping the ball up the wing for Ng to chase, but he doesn't get there. Ng, and Augusto is able to clear. Once again, Akanji heading the ball, just dropping down on him there, just in his centre-back position. It bounces out to Ilkhan. Ilkhan finds Kazadeh. Kazadeh tries to take a touch and turn and shot, but it's blocked. Good impact by Cesare Kazadeh coming on here. Now I think, looking at things, Dumfries charging down the right, getting the ball, crossing opportunity for the Dutch fullback here, puts it into the box. Ooh, I think the ball is in the back of the net, but I think Thuram might have been offside. Ball came in from Dumfries, and Mkhitaryan gets onto the cross, just clips it towards goal, where Thuram was in an offside position and he sort of accidentally touched it. So an easy decision for the for the assistant referees there. Roberto De Versa has talked himself into the referee's notepad. Yellow card for him. Wrench has it once again towards Thuram, doesn't find its target. Throw in front of the Torino technical area. The throw this time is better, finds Esposito's chest, but the defenders are around him and regain possession. Simeone there, gathering the clearance and managing to regain possession, finding Ng, who barrels his way through 3 or 4 in for a free kick. He's been a bundle of energy since he's Andy Diouf there, just pulling a yellow card. I think Torino could sense that they might be able to win against Inter for the first time in 15 games here. We see a replay just of Diouf bringing down Ng, clear foul, and it's in a good opportunity. Jan Bisek is down with an ailment or so. You can see the fans more engaged now. We've got just over 5 of normal time left to play. Nicola is standing over this free kick just to the right as he's looking at it of the Inter goal. Vlasic takes it, squares it to Zapata, who shoots, doesn't get a great connection, and it's cleared. Dumfries has it, tries to play it into Esposito. Esposito takes a touch to try and put it around Ebos, I think. Yeah, and Ebos just clatters into Esposito, preventing the striker from continuing his run. A look of resignation on Ebos's face. He knew exactly what he was doing there. A little bit of a professional foul. It's one thing to stand your ground, it's another to actively knock into the marker as he's trying to run it round you. Inter lose possession. Simeone has it, number 18, charging inside. And another foul, this time Barella pulling Simeone back, and Barella is the next name in the referee's notebook. The yellow cards are flying thick and fast here. Inter's captain, the latest to go down in the referee's notebook. Another professional foul, just as Simeone was bearing down on goal. Pulled him back, Simeone, and then he dropped, rolled. His first thing when he got up was to wave the imaginary flag at Mariani, who was already reaching for it. The free kick is taken and clipped to the back post, knocked back inside by Cazadei. Nobody there able to latch onto it, and it is acrobatically cleared only as far as Ebos, who picks it up inside his own half, plays it back to Pariali. Pariali, left-footed, plays it up the wing towards Zapata, who nods it right, intended for Simeone, but he finds an Inter shirt instead. Now we have Mkhitaryan crossing from the right, and it's well headed clear inside Torino's penalty box. Ismaili slow to get up. I think he's been awarded a foul there, I guess. Don't know, need to see the replay. Another Inter substitution being prepared. Fratesi, scorer of the winner in that spectacular semi-final against Barcelona in the Champions League last year. He's coming on for Jan Bisek, who's been struggling a little bit. So a defender off for a midfielder. Bit of a goal threat is Davide Fratesi, so Christian Chivu clearly not happy with a point. He wants to go for the win and put his side on the cusp of the league title. Goal kick taken by Pagliari, launched up the pitch towards Zapata, but it misses the Colombian's target, and Augusto is able to gather and pass it right to Dumfries. Now Barella is on the ball. Up the right wing, finds the ball to his intended target. It's crossed into the box, and that's number 22, Cazadei, who's been up and down, box to box in the minutes that he's been on. I think that was Fratesi, his first touch of the ball was to clip it into the 6-yard box. Good cross from the midfielder. The resulting corner to be taken by Niccolò Barella, number 23, right-footed, swings it into the box, into the 6-yard box, where Pagliari punches it clear only as far as Zielinski, who gets it back off Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan hooking it left to Akanji, but that's a loose touch from the Swiss defender. He's being hassled by a number of players, amongst them Zapata and Ng, but the referee adjudges that Akanji was fouled unfairly there. As we approach the 89th minute, you're listening to audio commentary of Torino versus Inter, 2-2 here. It's been a really entertaining game, and Roberto De Versa's men deserve a lot of credit for the way that they've got back into it. But still a few minutes here to play and opportunities for Inter to find the winner. Mkhitaryan gets it out there to Akanji in a really advanced position. Crosses come from deep now to the back post. Dumfries might be able to keep this on. Yes, he does, preventing it from going out by the corner flag. Finds Barella, who's supporting Dumfries. Barella inside to Fratesi, back to Barella. Now Akanji out to Barella again, crosses from the right. Good defending there by Ilhan, getting his foot to Barella's cross. Barella and Ilhan have run the most respectively out of both sides. Really have put in a lot of work here. I think this is the end of Giovanni Simeone's afternoon. It's a shame to see him depart, because he's been a real handful, a real thorn in the Inter side, but he departs the field to a lot of applause and is replaced by Temese, number 61, Adrian Temese. I think it's shut up shop time for D'Aversa. They're happy with the point. Throw taken by Dumfries into the box. Ilhan gets it clear. Vlasic helping out. Obrador makes sure, tries to find Zapata running free, but Akanji intercepts. Zielinski has it now, edge of the box. Can he find the goal? He tried to cut back inside on his left foot and then just sneak it inside the bottom right-hand post. Just went wide. I think he's won a corner. Let's see from this replay. Inconclusive. I don't think he has. He cut back in onto his left foot, dropped his shoulder, got his shot off wrong side of the post. Goal kick to Pagliari. We will be playing a minimum of 5 minutes additional time, of which we have already played 1. Pagliari's goal kick up towards Akanji. Akanji gets his head on it and is fouled in the process. Inter need to get the ball up the other end of the pitch if they're going to go back to Milan with the 3 points. Augusto passes it back to Jan Sommer. Sommer out to Barella. Barella into Zielinski. Zielinski tries to find Fratesi, and he does. Fratesi just helps it on to Thuram, who's on the edge of the box here. Shoots from distance. It's blocked. I think it even hit his own player there. Mkhitaryan was the one who got in the way of Thuram's shot, and Obrador is able to clear up towards Zapata, who wasn't even looking at the ball there. So intent is he on hassling and harrowing the Inter defenders. Barella picks up the loose ball, passes it inside to Zielinski. Zielinski onto Mkhitaryan. Now it's out there with Juve, crosses from the left. It's a great cross, but Pagliari is the one who gratefully leaps off his line to gather that, with Thuram lurking and ready to pounce. We have a few minutes left to play here, as we see a replay of the clear offside of Thuram, just as Mkhitaryan tried to latch on to the cross from the right side. Torino content with the point, looking to slow down play. Just over 2 minutes left to play here at the Stadio Olimpico. Pagliari has the ball in his hand. He's shown a yellow card for time wasting, I think. But now he launches the ball up the pitch towards Zapata to chase. It's cleared only as far as Obrador. Obrador back to Ebos. Ebos lets it run beyond him and passes back to Pagliari, who's going to be hassled here by Esposito. Plays the ball long up towards Ng over there on that far side. Torino keep the ball alive, back to Marianucci, inside to Ilhan, who just tries to help it around the corner. Surely Ng is offside here as he tries to chase this ball down. He's kept it on and the referee hasn't waved. He crosses the ball in towards Zapata and it required a defensive intervention from Dumfries there. Let's have a look at this replay. Surely would have been offside. Dumfries is the one possibly who was playing him on, but Ng was allowed to run through and then gets a cross in. Akanji there with a rocket in Dumfries' direction. He wasn't in line with his back three, and if anybody was playing Ng on, it was Dumfries. Corner here in the last minute of additional time to be taken in swinger on the right wing into the front post, but it's cleared by Akanji only as far as a boss who takes a couple of touches, marches down the left wing. He has options ahead of him, finds Vlasic, step overs, drops it to Zapata. Ng has it now, he tries to barrel his way through, but Barella just gathers and into fighting to get the ball out of their corner there, and Torino giving as good as they've got, but the referee judges that there's a foul in there somewhere. Nikola Vlasic is down, looks like he's not going to be able to continue, as we see a replay of Fratesi fighting against Tameze and Ng to keep that ball alive and winning into a free kick in the process. Vlasic is up, arguing with the referee about whether there was a foul somewhere in that build-up. He's eked out a few minutes off the referee's countdown clock here, so I dare say we are entering the last exchanges of this game. But a really good watch. Free kick launched up the pitch by Jan Sommer. And there we are, the referee blows his final whistle. It's ended here. Torino 2, Inter 2. It ends a 3-match winning streak for Internazionale, who retain their position at the top of Serie A, but they're going to have to wait at least another week before securing the title. Second draw in a row for Torino, but a much better one than the 0-0 that they played out last week to Cremonese. A really excellent game, both teams giving as good as they've got. Torino emerging probably with the most credit. I've really enjoyed watching this. I hope you have as well, and I'd like to wish you an excellent end to your weekend.